Hey guys, Camper 15, joined by my co-host,
Bald! Apparently.
the Red
According
Wolf. And we are back with My Hero Academia Season 1 of Vigilante.
yeah. And not a bad start, I must say. You read the manga, right? Yeah.
No, I did not. I have not read one single chapter of Vigilantes. So I'm going to this shit all blind.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't read the manga.
You thought I read the manga? No, no, no,
I
no.
thought you did.
Listen, I only read the manga for the entire series. The main story.
Mm-hmm.
So, listen, y'all. I know what's gonna happen in season 8, the final season.
Well,
You
yeah.
will have to wait till fall, but I already know what happens. Now, all I hope is we get the epilogue chapter absolutely adapted as the final episode. I hope they don't end it off in the way where I think they're gonna end it off. I hope they end it off with the epilogue chapter.
So there's a chance they're not even going to animate that?
I don't know. I hope they animate the epilogue chapter. It's already done, so Bones can freaking animate the epilogue chapter, which completely closes the book on everything MHA.
Hmm.
Unless Horikoshi wants to come back and do a sequel series, but I don't know if he will. Anyways, My Hero Academia Vigilantes. I figured that they would eventually adapt My Hero Academia Vigilantes at a point in time, with obviously the highs of My Hero Academia coming off the last movie, and then even coming up with the fact that the final season is approaching literally in about T minus about 4 or 5 months. Because it's coming out in the fall. What better way to capitalize and continue to make more money off the brand that is My Hero Academia? My Hero Academia Vigilantes. I figured that it eventually would get adapted, whether it would be after the main series would be concluded. But they're doing it in the midst of the main series, the main story, gonna be ending this upcoming year. I think if they adapted the entire main story, they're fully gonna probably adapt all of Vigilantes. Makes the most sense, makes the most money for the brand of My Hero Academia. It keeps people talking about My Hero Academia until they're basically done with this. And obviously, again, speculations if Horikoshi will eventually maybe do a sequel series to MHA. Um, Whenever that happens, I don't know if that will happen. We'll talk about that in our final episode review of the main show. But MHA Vigilantes, I've heard a lot of good things about it. People say, dare I say, people have said it's better than the main story. That's how much Vigilantes is absolutely liked. Now listen, I gotta watch this whole freaking story from beginning to end before I give any freaking thoughts of, is the Vigilante story better than the main, Izuku Midoriya story? That can be up to impersonation. Listen, I'm gonna watch everything before I make any fucking judgments. But I know, Pete, there are people out there that prefer Vigilantes over the main series. That's just common things. Listen, I will say this. Vigilantes did start off really damn good. Really damn engaging. It gets to the fucking point. We're not fucking around with just character introductions and just intro stuff and understanding the backstory. Because kind of the way this episode's structured, you know the My Hero Academia world. You know everything about it. You know some of these characters that are basically throwbacks that we've seen in the main show. But this thing is, it's a prequel show. So we see Alma in his prime. We see Aizawa in his prime. We see in the opening, Midnight. Bunch of other characters we've known from the main show. Basically,
Also, is it just me or is the animation a little different compared to like the original?
I was going to get to that.
Really?
Yes, I was. But this is the thing, so the start off was, I would say, much better than the first episode of the actual main show, because the main show was kind of your introduction to Deku. It was just that, my name is Izuku Midori, this is what I want to do, blah, blah, blah. No, we jump right into this. We know who Koichi is and what
Koichi.
what he wants to basically do and kind of in a weird way, kind of some similarities to how him and Deku kind of are. They're both All Might enthusiasts. I guess not as crazy as Deku is for a boy. But he does want to be, he's still a good dude and he wants to help. Again, my co-host mentioned it. The animation. Obviously, the animation looks different than the main show. Dare I say, I could probably honestly, now I did not go on social media, I did not go on Twitter, but I would not be fucking surprised if people said, why the fuck was this animation not the main series animation? I already fucking know. I haven't even seen a lick on Twitter, but I know anime Twitter. I know My Hero Academia toxic ass community. I already know they're gonna probably be complaining. Why was this animation not like this in the main series? Why?
I mean, don't get me wrong. This animation is solid, but I'm fine with the original also, guys. So I don't know.
Because when Bones can turn up the budget for their animation, they can. Go watch the movies. Go watch some of the big featured focused episodes of any season of MHA. They go all out with the budget. I'm not gonna deny this. Yes, the animation looks different, and it does look really damn good. But they want to make this show different from the main series. Yes, it's in the same universe, takes place before Deku's storyline, because it's a prequel show, but that doesn't mean they can't make some things. I don't know if Studio Bones is also producing this, or if it's another studio within Studio Bones, but whatever. The opening, the animation looks great. The animation looks great. Opening and ending, mwah. Now, I think I like the opening a lot more than the ending song, but they're both catchy songs. The opening song, I was listening to the beats for the little tiny bits of the song starting, I'm like, again, no MHA opening with the exception of a few of the main show, don't miss.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have these animes, these shows that are just goated when it comes to their openings. My Hero Academia is one of them. Again, personally, there's probably one or two songs that I'm like, I ain't vibing this opening. It's definitely season 4's back half opening. I do not fuck with that song. No. That was probably the worst MHA opening of the entire series, counting this opening.
Is it wouldn't the worst like a song opening song be like the first half of season 5?
No.
Or am I thinking wrong?
No. That one's actually pretty catchy after you listen to it for a bit.
I guess.
Anyways, so again, as we said, My Hero Academia is back. We'll be talking about this weekly. I'm so excited to talk about this because I think the one thing I'm excited about Vigilantes is I'm fucking blind. When's the last time have I talked about something MHA blind? Probably my last manga chapter review, which is the epilogue chapter.
Feels like
That's
years.
probably the last thing I've ever talked about MHA blind.
Feels like years since you've been blind about something MHA related.
Anyways. So basically, we are introduced to the episode. Funny enough, the narrator of this at the start is Deku. He's basically narrating about the typical thing about how quirks came known to man and everything, and they started to grow, and eventually 80% of the world became, had people become quirkful, and they have all these quirks. Now, Deku basically specifies, well, this is basic, and then he also goes into the whole definition of vigilante, of the fact, like, there's these heroes and everything, they do all these things, but there's another group of heroes called vigilantes, who basically, if you don't know what a vigilante is, they basically do things without...
Yeah, they take matters into their own hands without a license or anything, so, like, they're not exactly heroes, but I mean, they do good, but it's not the way people view them is a little,
in the gray.
Yeah. So they're not, their identities aren't like really that well known. Kind of like the Green Arrow, basically.
You can kind of consider Spider-Man, Daredevil, Punisher. They're all vigilantes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then basically Deku's like, well, this is a time before Izuku Midoriya became the world's greatest hero. Well, he didn't say that, but you get the point, right? Mm-hmm. So we basically get a flashback. This is a prequel show. So these events take place I don't know the actual time frame, but they take place a few years before the main story. So if you want to watch in chronological order, you start off with Vigilantes. So there you go. So we're introduced to this character named Koichi. He is a college student, age 19. So we have a college student, not a high school dude. He's basically a nice, happy-go-lucky guy. He kind of has some Peter Parker mannerisms with being late to class and shit. And
it's even inspiration.
Even work. But he kind of ends up having a moment similar to that of Deku in the first episode. But the difference is he actually runs into All Might. He sees like this freaking villain terrorizing this place. He was eating everything. I'm like, what the fuck is this dude? Hungry hippo? He was eating motorcycles and other machines. I don't know what his quirk is. I don't dare to know.
Yeah, and this is when, of course, we hear "I am here," and he slams into the villain. And this is when I noticed that the animation was a little different. It was a little different.
All right, because All Might looks different.
Yeah, I was like, huh. It's not a bad different. I just didn't expect it.
Also, just to let everybody know who's watching Vigilantes, they are doing a same day dub, same day subbed. Which is actually quite shocking if you say this to me. I never thought we'd be getting a same day dub, same day subbed My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that means the final season will be same day dub, same day subbed, but only I can hope. Because it would save me much less time going back and rewatching shit in the dub again.
And it would get my friend here to stop asking me to rewatch the series in the dub.
Yeah, which you still need to do. But hey, when the show ends, you can rewatch it all in the dub.
What do you think, guys?
It's certainly it's not as long as One Piece. Surely you can do.
Yeah, you're right. You're
8
right.
seasons.
Yes.
Yes. All Might comes down. He basically saying, "I am here." You hear Chris Sabat's iconic voice. He can finally do the voice consistently now. Not just this, "Well, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah." You know, his skinny All Might form voice. But now he can be the boisterous All Might. I don't know if All Might's going to have any big point in this show because, look, at this point, we know he's an OP-ass character. So I don't know if he's going to be a reoccurring character every now and then. But hey, I'm down to see more All Might content because we really haven't gotten this type of All Might content since really fucking season 3.
Yeah, because he lost all his power.
Lost all his power, even though we know he's going up against All for One and he potentially might die, but
only you know.
Yeah. But anyways, he basically like, "I'll take this villain away," and then he just jumps off into the stratosphere, and he's gone like that. That's it with what we see of All Might for this episode.
I'm guessing we'll just be seeing little cameos of him. I think we'll just be seeing little cameos of him. Not a lot of action with him, but just a few cameos in this series.
Now, again, we don't know if this takes place. Also, I don't even know if this takes place before he gets his stomach injury from All for One. So for all we know, we could actually see that fucking fight where he gets injured in that fight against All for One. I guess we'll have to find out.
I'm gonna guess it takes place just a little bit after that fight.
Well, we'll see. Anyways, so basically he's like, "Oh."
I can't hear your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can. Sorry, your voice got cut off completely.
But anyways, yeah, he runs. It comes to basically the late evening, and he's coming across this one girl, and this one girl's got an idol faction.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting flashbacks.
What?
Oshinoko.
Okay. This girl's basically singing, and she's got fans and everything. Koichi's like, "Oh, that's Popstep." So yeah. Also, too, we see this guy's quirk, right? We see this dude's quirk. So Koichi's quirk is slide and go. He can basically put his hands on the ground and he slides around. Albeit he can't settle around pretty fast, but that's
I wonder if he's gonna be like Deku, where he like just trains up his quirk to go faster. I don't know.
We'll see. But yeah, he ends up. I think even before this, wasn't before that he ended up. Okay, so before he ends up meeting or going over and seeing his Popstep thing, he ends up running into this alleyway where he sees these dudes who we see at the end of the episode, right? Or who kind of like mainstay like type of baddie dudes. They're like just crooks, right? And eventually he bumps into them accidentally trying to go to school, but then he slides away to get away from them, right? But that's when he sees Popstep and he's just like, well, she does all this, but hopefully the cops don't catch her again. So he basically is going, he leaves. Now Popstep ends up seeing him. Don't know if they have some sort of connection. When they eventually meet up, it sounds like she doesn't. But he gets to work. He's fucking late getting to work. So the dude's like, your pay is getting taken out. I hope that never happens to me. Because the last thing I need is my pay being taken away.
That makes
sense. That's what happens.
I don't think anybody wants that.
But the guy works a convenience store type of gas station job. So then all of a sudden, you see the same dudes that he got away from was like, damn, if I could catch that damn little snail, I swear I'll kick his ass. Convenient timing.
Yeah. They see him, there you are, and then they just take him outside and start beating the crap out of him.
So we find out this dude, so we got one lizard looking man. I don't know who the other big bozo guy is. He's just a big dude. And then you got this sniveling like dude who at some point in the episode, dude has sharp like claw type of things.
It's right here in that scene where when he drags him out, like my quirk is Spike.
Now listen, I don't know if we know Horikoshi. I don't know if Horikoshi actually did Vigilantes or ever had any core ties to it. Which I don't think he did. I think this was another author that focused on Vigilantes, and I think maybe Horikoshi maybe oversaw some things. I don't know. I'll have to look it up and everything, right? But again, Horikoshi kind of like staple. The dude pulls up the spikes, and I kid you not, the dude basically was a fucking clone of Wolverine. If we could be honest.
I mean, kinda, yeah.
He basically had the three spikes coming out of his forehands, and I'm just like, Wolverine, bitch ass, what are we doing here?
Yeah, he's kind of until later in the episode, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But basically, Koichi sadly gets beat the hell up, and that's basically they leave him there beat to a pulp, and everything. So yeah, that's kind of the thing right then and there. But this is kind of what we see about Koichi and how he's inspired to do good things, and what are the good things that he does.
Does help society basically. He like you ever got your purse or something, like pick up the trash for people and all that stuff. He calls himself a nice guy.
Well, that's what the people call him.
Yeah, well, he starts calling himself a nice guy also. Let's be real.
Listen, I personally would have. I was crying out. They're like, "Good job, nice guy. You're so cool." I'm just like, your name is fucking Nice Guy. Are you fucking serious? But hey, he's like, "Oh, I love it. I love helping people."
Nice guy. He's a nice guy. Okay, I didn't mean to say that. Yeah.
He's got some correlations to Deku, but at the same time, he's different.
Yep.
He's also wearing an All Might jacket hoodie too, so there's that. And I think one person does acknowledge, like, "Oh, you must be a really big All Might fan." He's like, "Yeah, I guess. I'm just doing it here just to do good things." So he ends up going into this alleyway, and he ends up running into Popstep, and Popstep's like, "Oh, so what's up, nice guy? Doing more regular tasks?"
Yeah. Here, have a soda. And he takes it and is like, Popstep. Popstep.
Popstep.
I can't speak today. I'm sorry.
So they kind of have a conversation a bit about like kind of doing things bigger and everything. And basically, the dude's like, "Well, whatever you're doing, you're gonna get caught by the cops. So you should probably stop what you're doing." She's like, "Well, why do I have to freaking stop?" And then again, convenient timing. The same freaking crux that we've been dealing with this entire episode show back up. And basically, they're like, well, what do we got going on here? So they basically pin Popstep to the wall, and they're just like, oh, look at her. I'm just like, what the? I'm like, what the hell? So Koichi's like, so, about me? And they're like, man, get lost out of here. We don't care. So Koichi actually is about to, honest to God, walk away and just leave things be. While this girl probably would have been, I don't know. Now, they didn't act like that they were gonna like maybe sexually assault her, but they gave off the impersonation like they were. The one dude was like, I'm just like, okay, what? Now, mind you, I think I heard Popstep is like a freaking 16, 17-year-old girl. So don't rule 30 for her, but you already know Art's gonna be out there. Sadly.
Yeah.
Anyways, eventually Koichi's like, you know what? No, I gotta do the right thing. He pulls up and he's like, hey, you guys need to stop this stuff. And they turn around and they're like, who the fuck are you talking to? You talking to us?
Yeah. And this big one, he just grabbed him and then tosses him. And yeah, he's not that strong.
Yeah, he's definitely not strong. He needs to get in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, Wolverine, that's what I'm gonna call him, he's like, hey, wait a minute. I know who you are. You're that dude from the cash register. And I'm just like, oh. So they start beating him up some more. And eventually, you know, they're like, well, what? Who? There ain't gonna be no hero that's gonna call it to you. What are you gonna do? Call it for All Might? All Might, All Might, All Might, come save me. Who shows up?
Yeah, and this is when they're like, and this is when Koichi is like, All Might isn't coming. No matter how loud we, because he's not always here. But this is when another big ghost come crashing in and into the trash bags.
No, also, I just gotta make a mention. Remember, this is a prequel. So this is a perfect encapsulation of Hero Society at the time, right? Because Hero Society at this time is more about popularity, and they're more focused on stopping villains in the daylight to improve their popularity, right? Not doing the actual hero things and saving people when they're in need of saving. Just for, you know, listen, Koichi's a good guy. We can clearly tell that. But you could say, again, this could be one of these moments where he's getting beat up by these people in the alleyway, where if nobody comes in, maybe he turns out to be a villain to try to get revenge. But go on.
Yeah, this is when we see not my greatest landing, but it doesn't matter. He just gets up and he starts walking up to them and he starts like, you know, cleaning house. And go ahead.
So his name, or I guess his vigilante hero name, is Knuckleduster. Man's got brass knuckles. That's all you need to know. And he knocks the shit out of these dudes.
Yep.
I legitimately thought this man was gonna tear their fucking heads off.
No, he just grabbed it. He just grabbed the lizard guy and pulls him by the by the tongue, and then which that will be explained later.
Yes, he basically checks all their tongues and he's like, you're not the one. You're not the one. Now, while this is happening, Popstep is still kind of like, I guess, being pinned against the wall, and Wolverine is like, don't you move, I will kill her. And he's got the freaking needles right near his spikes near her throat, like he's gonna freaking do it. And kind of in a weird way, Knuckleduster gives kind of Koichi kind of in his way the All Might speech, and it seems like this dude also obviously respects All Might and everything and what he does, and I guess he's a fan too. Um, but he's like, listen, and he kind of gives a speech of like, well, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna do something about it? Or are you just gonna stand there and act like a coward? And it's kind of the whole thing of just acting, when you may not think you need to act. Kind of like what we've seen time and time again in the main story of running without thinking. If you know, I need to go save this person. We've seen Deku do it. We've seen Bakugo do it. We've seen countless characters do this, right? In the story. This is where Koichi has his moment where his feet, even though he's like, oh, I'm not strong enough to defeat this guy, and I know I'm probably gonna get my ass killed probably, but I just gotta go help. And he basically he tackles this dude, and then Knuckleduster's like, good! And then basically Knuckleduster gives this guy a resounding punch, knocking him out. He then checks his tongue and he's like, oh, you're not it either. So that's the thing. They say Popstep, and basically they kind of go their own way. And basically Knuckleduster's like, hey, you want to know what it takes to save people and be a hero? And Koichi's like, no, I don't want. I can't even fight. What? And he's like, well, too bad. You're going to do that.
Yeah, he's apparently he's going to train him.
Yes. So he takes him back to his actual house, and he's like, why are you in my house? And he's like, well, listen, we need to freaking talk strategy. We need to get started on your training. This man literally raids his freaking refrigerator, and he's like, what you got up in here? He's like, the hell you got up in here? And then he looks down, he's like, oh, yes, beer. You get one of the funniest comments this dude made, and he's like, so Koichi's like, those are for my friends, when they come over. And he's like, well, you don't need it. You're underage anyways. You're 19. You can't even drink. And Koichi's like, but I just said they're for my friends when they come over. They're legal to drink it. At least the guy's honorable.
Yeah. Well, is this guy ignoring me?
Also, we see that Popstep is also there too, which how she ended up in this house, I have no idea, but okay.
I mean,
so Knuckleduster basically explains what he's doing and why he's doing. He basically says, the reason why I was checking the tongues of these individuals is because I'm looking for this drug. And Koichi's like, what are you talking about? And basically, we kind of see a montage of what's happening. What happens with those villains that got beat up?
They were walking, and then they were walking and getting they're limping, and then they walk into a mysterious individual carrying 3 needles basically. They were like, what? You got a problem? And then this mysterious individual was like, you guys don't have a problem. You guys have a problem. I have a solution. And then yeah, it just goes over back to Koichi, where like Knuckle explains this drug, how it enhances the quirks of an individual. However, they lose all train of thought. So
the drug's name is called Trigger. Now, if you remember what Trigger was, you have to be very keen with what you remember. Now, I think the Shihei Hasaikai from season 4, they used a bit of Trigger. And then also, too, the only way you're going to get this reference is if you watch the third My Hero Academia movie, World's Heroes Mission. I remember the term Trigger, but then I had to be like, okay, I need to go on the fucking My Hero Academia wiki page to remember. And then I remember, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Trigger was also used by the main villain of the group called Human Rise, right? And they used that in that movie. So you may not get this reference if you did not watch that movie. So I remembered the name, and I'm like, Trigger. I'm like, that sounds familiar. And then I looked at it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. It was in the fucking third movie. I need to go back and rewatch the third movie at some point to refresh my memory. But regardless, it's nice to see that they kind of did a callback to that moment. Well, I guess Vigilantes came before the third movie, so in a weird way, the movies pay tribute to Vigilantes. But basically, it's like my friend said, it enhances their ability, their quirks, but it makes them go crazy. And that's what we see. They're just wreaking havoc after they take this drug. Like freaking Spike dude, he damn looked like a fucking spiked up hedgehog.
Yeah, exactly. So he was once Wolverine, now he's a spiked up hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog or something.
So basically, Knuckleduster's like, yeah, I'm looking for the guy that's passing out the drugs. And basically, it's like, I can tell who's used Trigger or not. And basically, if their tongue is like all black and everything, that's how I can tell that they use Trigger. So that's the thing. So basically, it's like, well, you're gonna help me. And he's kind of taking Koichi against his will, if we're being honest, really.
Hmm.
Um, but you just basically have it where they go in this park. They kind of have some disagreements with some civilians, right? But then all of a sudden, the episode ends off on a cliffhanger, and who appears out of the blue?
Huh. Popstep.
Well, not Popstep, the guy, the other dude.
The- Hmm?
You really forgot?
Mm-hmm.
Aizawa!
Your camera froze.
Aizawa. You don't remember Aizawa showing up?
He comes out later though.
Okay, then what does Popstep do?
He's like she goes like, What are you doing here with this weirdo still? And they explain the situation, and she she pulls up her phone, to show them that they need to narrow down their targets and all that stuff. And Koji goes, "Oh, you really thought it through." And this is when like this guy in the suit comes in with the suitcase. And this is when Knuckle like starts to starts getting suspicious of that guy. And this is when Koichi goes steps in and goes, he's just a civilian getting out of work, okay? But that didn't stop him. So he was about to punch the hell about that guy. And yes, this is when Aizawa comes in. This is when Aizawa comes in. Yes.
There you go. And as Aizawa with no damage to his eyes at this point.
Yep. So we have one of the main heroes cameos.
So, well, apparently I heard Aizawa actually has a big role to play in Vigilantes.
Okay.
So, there's that. But it's nice to see Aizawa again in his prime. Before he got his eyes fucked up by the Nomu.
And his leg.
That too. My man Aizawa needs after this war arc, he needs to retire.
Jeez, all the heroes got beat up.
Yeah. I know you're gonna be crying when you see Midnight eventually.
I will be conflicted.
Rest in peace. Oh, sorry for people that I spoiled, but I don't know why you're watching this show.
I think people should know at this point.
Well, who knows? Maybe somebody's the first time viewer in My Hero Academia and they don't know what the hell this is. And they watch this before they watch the main show. Why?
Imagine.
I have no clue.
Imagine.
Well, too bad. I'm sorry I spoiled fucking death, but that's my bad. Anyways. We're gonna get out of here. Oh, well, actually, before we got here, it was a great start. I think right now my favorite character is probably Knuckleduster. I am liking him.
You like them big brawny men?
No, I dislike his character. It's funny. Koichi's definitely a believable MC. And I just definitely can't wait to see where it's going to go. I can't wait to see where this Trigger storyline's going to go. So, there's that. But anyways, we're going to get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts. Hit the subscribe button if you want to get more My Hero Vigilantes content. But I guess My Hero content in general, all in all, it's the same shit. It's the same series, but regardless, we're back. I finally have something else to talk about in My Hero Academia. Thank God. Yay. Also, apparently this is going to be a 2-core, and it's going to be a split core. So we're going to get the first 13 episodes dropped here, and then in another part of the season of the year, we're going to probably get the next batch dropped. So, hey, that means it's going to keep the animation being consistent. So that's a good thing. So, yeah. But anyways, any other final thoughts? Any shocks and surprises and excitements for the show that you got?
Just Just no, just looking forward to more.
So yeah. So yeah. Anyways, we're gonna get it for you guys because we're gonna go back and we're gonna review Fire Force. Thank God. Anyways. Till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or your night watching this video. Hit that subscribe button to my channel. Plug your channel.
And subscribe to my channel, which I just did another Outlast Trials live stream. It was
Fucking
exhausting
took
to
us
say the least.
hell. We gotta
Yeah,
get better at doing these things in a faster timeline.
yeah, this. Oh, I won't say anything, but just give it a watch, guys. I beg of you. We did so much.
We'll be back with Outlast Trials, hopefully next weekend. Hopefully. It's all buried on my little brother.
Yep.
So,
Without further ado, we'll see you all next time, and look out for yourselves and each other. Peace.